Hello friends, welcome to Civilspedia. Welcome to today's. In this session, we are going to see the current affairs on 20th April 2018. As usual, we have three set of topics. One is about the mains topic, that is the simultaneous elections in India. Second is the prelims topic related to the Gram Swaraj Abhiyan campaign, which is happening. Third is the map of the day. We'll see Sweden. Okay, first about the prelims topic, we'll see what is this Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, what are the things to concentrate, how to expect questions. So first of all, what is this Gram Swaraj Abhiyan? It is a campaign that is being organized actually from time like from 14th April to May 5th of May 2018. Okay, so it is a campaign like what it is related to first of all. Okay, so the objective of this campaign is to promote social harmony. So these are things which you got to remember for mains also, in prelims also, to promote social harmony, to spread awareness about the pro-poor initiatives of the government. And third is to reach out the poor households about the schemes and also to obtain the various feedbacks. Okay, so these are the very objectives of this campaign. Okay, so next things what you got to see is about the coverage. Okay, so what are the schemes involved in here? Okay, so the government has chosen some 7 flagship pro-poor programs to under this campaign and to reach out the people. Okay, so it has identified some almost 20,000 odd villages and covered 530 districts actually. So except for these some state in Karnataka and West Bengal where elections are due, the state assembly elections, here it is in Panchayat elections. Okay, because of this election code of conduct is in place, it is not conducted there. Okay. Now, what are the things, other things you got to see about the identified schemes? I said about 7 schemes, right? So these are the schemes about the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, about the LPG connection to the women households, about the Saubhagya scheme, about the electricity scheme, and Ujala scheme about the giving LED schemes. Okay, next is about Jan Dhan Yojana, about opening bank accounts. Next about these insurance, 2 insurance schemes. One is Jeevan Jyoti and Suraksha Bima Yojana. And last is about Mission Indradhanush. That is about immunization program. Okay. So next is about the parties involved. So who are involved in this campaign? Apart from the targeted beneficiaries, the PRA, the members of Panchayat Raj institutions, and as well as the self-help group, registered self-help group members. Okay. As well as the MLAs and MPs, the people's representatives. These people are involved to reach out the people. Okay. Next is about the highlights of this program. One of the very important thing is that public disclosure to the Gram Panchayats about how much fund is made available under various set of schemes. And next is about the real-time effective monitoring of the campaign. So how far it is, how it is going. These can be, you can check it like as a common man, we can check it through apps in common portal, which is given in a Government of India website. So you can go through the level of campaigning and the reach. Okay. Next is about the activities which will happen. I already said like activities such like it is starting from April 14 till May 5th it is happening. Okay. These are the things which is scheduled. Okay. Already 14th and 18th has been done. Next is on 28th there will be Ujjwala Divas. Okay. In that LPG connections will be given. Okay. Issue of 100 new connections as well as the safety clinics will be conducted all throughout the country in one single day. And on 24th on the Panchayat Raj Divas, that day Gram Sabha meetings will be held regarding the empowering and empowerments in the sense like social as well as the economic empowerment of people. Next is on 28th April about the Gram Shakti Abhiyan related to distribution of entitlements to beneficiaries at the block level. Okay, so with respect to Ayushman Bharat, it will be held on April 30th. Ayushman Bharat is, you know, that is a new insurance scheme available to the people. Okay, next is about Kisan Kalyan Karyashala. Okay, that is Karyashala is again it is a workshop to double farmers' income. We have a target to double the farmers' income by 2022. So about that, the workshop is going to be conducted about Ajivika mission. That is about skill and all those related success stories will be developed there. Okay, so that is a livelihood mission, right? Okay, these are the activities which will be held throughout this month and the next month. And next, coming to the topic of simultaneous elections in India. This is a main topic. So this is a question they have asked in last year in 2017 GS paper 2. So the question they asked is simultaneous election to the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies will limit the amount of time and money spent in electioneering, but it will reduce the government's accountability to the people discussed? So this is the question they asked. So even though that question was asked last year, you might expect in future also, in next year also, maybe in another time, in upcoming exams also, because this is a topic which carries more weightage because of the current scenario. Okay, so right from the president, prime minister, election commission, law commission, even the court, so everyone has given opinion about the simultaneous elections. Now let us see, analyze like what, why, how, and how is it possible, what are the bottlenecks, what are the criticisms, all those things in this session. Now coming to what exactly it is, first of all, okay, so as the definition goes, okay, so this definition of simultaneous elections or simultaneous poll, in the sense, it is a structuring of the election cycle in India, so that the Lok Sabha and the state assembly elections are synchronized together. Okay, so as on today, the elections are being held in different dates. See, for instance, like apart from few states, all the other states has like throughout the period of the Lok Sabha, like for instance, like the general elections of Lok Sabha is being held in was held in last time in 2014. Now it will be held in 2019. Okay, in between these 5 years, a lot many, once in every 6 months, almost 2-3 states go for the assembly states. Okay, so in such a scenario, this carries so much importance because it needs to synchronize those elections together. Now, so what is it actually? So what exactly it will do? So if at all a simultaneous election happens in India, a voter would normally cast his vote to the electing members of Lok Sabha and State Assembly on a single day. Okay, on a single day at a single station, at a single polling station. Okay, so now what it is not. Okay, so it is only about Lok Sabha and State Assemblies, not about Panchayat, first of all. Okay, so why Panchayat won't come? Because it is Panchayats, like not every state has, every part of the state has Panchayat Raj institutions. Moreover, Panchayat Raj institutions, the responsibility of which is lies in the election commission of the respective states. Okay, and that it is a huge exercise because of the large number of candidates involved in it. So this simultaneous election speaks only about synchronizing Lok Sabha and State Assembly, not the Panchayat Raj, which you got to keep in mind. Next thing is about, like, as I already said, like, but it is like, as I said, it is not exactly about all 3 tiers. Okay. Next is about voting won't happen on single day for all the constituencies, because that is also not possible. That will the current trend of like having it in phases, like it may start from March to till May. Okay, so that phase will conduct to, I mean, that will carry to operate now. Okay, but one person will vote for both Lok Sabha as well as state assemblies on one particular day. Now, what exactly the constitution says, what exactly the constitution says about simultaneous elections? So there isn't explicit mention about the simultaneous elections in India. Okay, so now what exactly the constitution says? So now coming to the constitutional provisions as well as the statutory provisions related to simultaneous elections in India. So there is an explicit mention about the simultaneous elections in India, but what we can take from constitution is that about the term of elections, about the term of assemblies as well as the Lok Sabha. So Article 83 clause 2 speaks about the term of Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. As far as the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, as you know, that is a permanent body. So Lok Sabha as well as the state assemblies, they have 5 years term as a 5 years as term. Okay, until from the date of sitting, it has a duration term of 5 years unless it is sooner dissolved. Okay, now so before 5 years, or it can be extended after 5 years also. That is an exception. So when it can be extended more than 5 years, during the emergency, the Lok Sabha can be extended during the emergency more for at a time, like for 1 year at a time, right? So even the same like state assemblies also can be extended in addition to the state emergency also. Now there is another concept called premature dissolution. Okay, so this premature dissolution since before 5 years. So what happens? How? What? On what basis? So these 3 articles indirectly mentions about it. Okay, so this Article 75 clause 3 says about the collective responsibility of the Council of Ministers to the Lok Sabha. So if at all the Council of Ministers loses the responsibility, I mean loses the confidence, that is loses the confidence of the House of the people, then it will be dissolved, right? The House will be dissolved, right? So they will be resigned. Thereafter, if it is they are not able to form the government, they will be dissolved. Okay, so now this is what indirectly results in premature dissolution. So in any case, it will be higher or lower. So this is an exception. Now coming to the statutory provisions. Under the statutory provisions, the Representation of People Act of 1951 speaks about it, section 14 clause 2 and section 15 clause 2. It says that election commission is empowered, okay, within like before the 6 months prior to the end of normal term, within that time they can conduct, okay, not before 6 months. If at all, see for instance, election is going to be, I mean the term is going to end on this December 2018, okay, so just before 6 months only, within 6 months only they can do, but not before 6 months, okay, not right now they can conduct, okay. So this means that like even though there is a mention about the 6 months term, in any ways it won't affect the term of the Lok Sabha or else the assembly. Now, so this is the one like which speaks about the simultaneous elections, because simultaneous election is not a new thing in India. It is not a new concept. It was already followed since the inception of our constitution, since the occurrence of the first election as well, okay. If you look at the first 3 Lok Sabhas from first, second till 1967, there was a continuous term of 5 years. So not just the Lok Sabha, even the Lok Sabha along with the state assemblies, they had a full 5-year term and they had a synchronized election. But thereafter, from 4th, okay, it was not there. Sometimes the Lok Sabha itself was dissolved prematurely. Sometimes it was extended beyond like 5 years, for instance, during the time of emergency, okay. So in such a manner, the Lok Sabha itself was dissolved or it was extended, and moreover, the state started either dissolved or again extended because of the reasons of like there were two-party system, right? Initially there were like most of the majority of the states in India was ruled by Congress, and when like the regional parties took over the states, okay, there was a tussle between the center and the state that resulted in more usage of Article 356, that is state emergency, okay. So that was the point where like the difference in dates happened. Now, so this is not the simultaneous elections. It is not a concept which happens only in India, but also internationally. Countries like South Africa, Sweden, and Belgium, even today they have it. Okay, we can take cue from that also. Now, why? What is the need now? Okay, are we not happy with this thing? What is the problem? First of all, so these are the problems you got to go through. First of all, so first is about the impact of development programs and governance, which this is kind of a bottleneck because of the model code of conduct which is in progress. Next, we'll see about the frequent elections, which is leading to expenditure. So second is about the finance, that is expenditure. First about the development programs. Okay, there is a bottleneck related to implementation. Third is about the engagement of security forces. Okay, we'll see one by one what is it exactly. So first is about the impact of development programs and governance. Okay, apart from the routine administrative activities, these are the ones affected about the development programs, welfare programs, and capital projects. How it is affected? First of all, see, once the model code of conduct comes into practice, there is always like there is a ban to introduce new initiatives. Okay, even if the government wants to initiate a new program or scheme, it will be barred. Okay, these sort of things is forbidden. Now, this Parliament Standing Committee in its 79th report, Standing Committee on Ministry of Personnel and Law and Justice, it said about the policy paralysis and governance deficit. Now they moved for like for this the focus of policy making. It was solely based on election. So during the model code of conduct, what will happen? No new schemes will be introduced. Just before that, if at all a state is if a state is conducted, for instance, recently in the conducted Gujarat elections, so many new SOPs are introduced. Okay, for instance, like even if coming in the upcoming elections, right, in the Andhra Pradesh elections also, they're demanding for special package, special status also. So whenever a new election happens, the state demands more. Okay, so this sort of policy paralysis lies with the what do you say, like the model code of conduct whenever it is happening. Now, next is about the expenditure. So massive expenditure that is spelled out not just by the government but also by the candidates and other stakeholders. Okay, so it is they have said that it leads to corruption as well as black money as well. So now what will happen? They suggested that because the expenditure is almost like 8,000 crores. Okay, For instance, like for Lok Sabha alone, it is almost some 300 to 400, 3,000 to 4,000 crores. And for conducting elections in the state assemblies, it varies. For instance, in Gujarat, it was about 270, 300, something like that. So almost 8,000 crores is being spent. Now, if at all, like if it is held at a one single point, we can reduce the expenditure that can be shared by the center and the state. Normally, Lok Sabha elections are, the expenditure is borne by center. For the states assembly, it is borne by the state. Okay, now they can share it. Next is about the engagement of security forces. The security forces, the prime mode, the objective will be defeated because they will be locked in for the elections, because as many as 10 million persons are involved in so many phases. Okay, that too, especially in the Naxal areas, Naxal affected areas where there is in border areas and all. Fine. So this sort of an diversion is not so good because of the prolonged time. Other issues like frequent this elections, it disturbs normal public life also, frequent elections, and it perpetuates caste, religious, communal issues also. This is another problem. And thirdly is about it affects the focus of governance and policy making. Now there is a syndrome, there is a permanent campaign syndrome. So once an election is announced, for instance, the people from the central government, they go and focus particular state or a particular constituency, leaving that. Okay, even recently there was a accusation on the government that during the Gujarat elections, most of the ministers, they went and campaigned in Gujarat. Okay, so that sort of a adverse effect on governance and policy making also affects, right? Next is about the key challenges and criticisms of simultaneous elections. So even though simultaneous elections can reduce expenditure, can bring coordination between states and center, so can decrease the manpower. So all those things, there are advantages, there are certain challenges as well as criticisms. Okay, first is about the operational feasibility and doability, because like almost like recently, if at all you take the list of states which have conducted elections. So recently, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, they had elections in 2016. Himachal, Uttarakhand, they had it in 2017. Gujarat and all. So they won't be ready to have elections in 2019 because they have another 3 or 4 more years. Okay, so this sort of a bringing synchronization between the different state assemblies which have different terms, it's a biggest problem. Next is about the weakening of accountability of politicians. Okay, so whenever we have different elections at different set of time for the assembly and the parliament, what will happen, there is a natural check of balance. Okay, so this will be defeated if at all we have a one-time election. Third thing is about the changes in voter behavior. See, recently data shows that there is a change in voter behavior. So when the elections are held simultaneously, the people who are voting, the voter, they choose one particular candidate both in the center as well as the state. Okay, so what will happen indirectly, it affects, okay, all those. So if there is a national as well as the state issue, okay, the national issue gets priority over the state. Okay, so the state issue, anything which is within the state, it gets subdued because of the overcoming national issue. So this sort of thing will change the voter behavior also, and this will affect the, we can say, federalism, because this will affect the regional parties as well. This is one of the major objection from the regional parties, because this simultaneous election will benefit the national parties if at all they bring it. So moreover, another point of like weakening federalism in the sense, if at all as the voter pattern goes, like for instance, they said like almost 77 to 80% they vote to similar party both nationally as well as in the state assembly elections. If that goes true, then that will lead to the same members of the same party to represent in Rajya Sabha. So if a member from state assembly, Rajya Sabha as well as the Lok Sabha, they all come from the same set of party or the same set of coalition, that will defeat the very purpose of a democracy. Even Rajya Sabha is meant for a check, right? Now, if the composition of all those things are the same, it will be difficult. Now, coming to lastly, the political consensus. So that is the biggest obstacle. People are not coming, like especially the opposition parties and the people under the third front. They are strongly opposing this. Okay, so if at all you are able to bring this political consensus, we can think about the simultaneous elections. But that is also not so easy. We got to do these certain things. Okay, what is it? First of all, bringing a concept of constructive no confidence, meaning, so normally what will happen if at all someone brings a no confidence, if that no confidence win, the ruling government will resign. Okay, now So if at all the opposite party again who brings and who brought successfully the no confidence, if at all they are not able to form the government, finally what will happen? The assembly itself will be dissolved. Then it will result in unnecessary expenditure, new elections. So now there should be a mandatory clause that any party which brings a no confidence should also bring a constructive no confidence that they should be able to form government alternatively. This is a thing which is followed in Germany. So we can follow that model. Okay, these are the suggestions given by the Law Commission as well as the Election Commission and by the Niti Ayog's note. Next is about bringing amendment to Article 83 and 172 about the term. So if at all, once bringing a simultaneous elections, if at all any state goes for a midterm election because of emergency or because of premature dissolution, whatever it is, now what they can do, they can they can have elections, but they have the life of only for the remainder term. Okay, so that is another thing. Third is about the removal of section 2 clause 1b of the 10th schedule, which speaks about anti-defection again. Okay, because if at all we give some space for anti-defection, then again it will be a bottleneck to the simultaneous elections. Lastly, about bringing changes in RP Act, okay, by including definition for simultaneous elections. Okay, by this we can make simultaneous elections possible in India. But before that, political consensus has to be the key. It will be the key. Now coming to the map of this is Sweden. Okay, Sweden. This is the Sweden in the world map. Okay. Now, so what are things you can expect? Of course, so you see politically, you got to see Stockholm, it's the capital. Now you got to see all those nearby countries, bordering countries like Norway, Finland, all those things. And what you got to notice about the Baltic Sea here. Okay, so you can expect questions from Baltic Sea, Gulf of Bothnia, okay, and also about North Sea. So these are the things which you got to notice with respect to map in Sweden. Next, coming to like which are the parties or which are the groups Sweden is part of. One is about the Nordic countries. One is about this known as a Scandinavian, right? Scandinavian countries are what, like this Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. They are called as Scandinavian countries because of its German connection. And this is a Nordic countries. Nordic countries is a kind of even more a bigger Northern Europe kind of a thing. It includes all Finland, Iceland, all those things under Faroe Islands, which comes under Denmark, on Greenland also. Now, so this is a question they asked in 2014. So what kind of questions you can expect, first of all? So they asked about Arctic Council, okay? They asked about Arctic Council in 2014. They asked about like which among Denmark, Japan, Russian Federation, UK, USA were part of. But so I asked this question because Sweden is also part of this Arctic Council. See, for instance, you can answer this by elimination method because naturally Japan won't be part of this thing. Look here. So Japan has no connection with the Arctic, but Sweden has. So these are the Arctic Council countries. So this is how you got to eliminate. These are the observer countries, including India. So you can eliminate UK and Japan. So once you eliminate UK and Japan, so then you can directly answer it. So these sort of logical answers will be taken. So you got to know the nearby seas, oceans, and as well as the neighboring countries or the associations a country is associated with. Okay, so that's it for the day. If you have any suggestions, doubts, please put on your comments. Thank you.